What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to do some quick Atlanta Falcons news, and then I also want to talk about Terry Fontenot becoming the Atlanta Falcons' new GM. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I really appreciate you guys continuing to tune into the channel. We are on the quest for 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to tune in. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So first off, in Atlanta Falcons news, Dan Quinn, former Atlanta Falcons head coach, was signed by the Dallas Cowboys to be their defensive coordinator. Also, Joe Witt, our DB's coach from last season, actually accepted a job with the Dallas Cowboys as well to be the defensive backs coach for the Cowboys as well. Him and Mike McCarthy have some familiarity with each other. He actually was the DB's coach in Green Bay back when Mike McCarthy was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. So they do have a relationship, and they decided to bring in Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator and also to bring Joe Witt in for the Dallas Cowboys defensive backs coach job as well. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to Dan Quinn, Joe Witt for being hired by the Dallas Cowboys. I wish those guys nothing but the best. But with that being said, let's jump right into this GM news that broke today. So news did break today. You probably already heard it, seen it on Twitter, on Facebook, Atlanta Falcons, AtlantaFalcons.com. The Falcons will be hiring Terry Fontenot as the next Atlanta Falcons GM. They can't hire him yet because the Saints are technically they're still in the playoffs at this time. So the Falcons can't officially hire Terry Fontenot until the New Orleans Saints playoff run is over and their year is over. So we just currently are waiting basically for their season to be over. Whenever they lose in the playoffs or whenever their season is over, we can officially announce Terry Fontenot or introduce Terry Fontenot as the new GM of the Atlanta Falcons. Personally, I love this move of bringing in Terry Fontenot. He's been with the Saints organization for over 16 years as a scout and player personnel. He also worked with the GM there with the New Orleans Saints as well. So he's gained some experience. He has a ton of knowledge. And one thing also that I love about Terry Fontenot is he's been with the Saints, and they've been a winning organization over the last couple of seasons. As much as I hate the Saints, being an Atlanta Falcons fan, I do respect the Saints in the fact that they have been dominant in the NFC South for the last decade. So shout out to Terry Fontenot becoming the new Falcons GM. I definitely think that he's going to bring that toughness that we need. I do believe that he knows how to scout players, being that he's been doing it for almost 2 decades now with the Saints. I do believe that he's a guy that's going to be able to come in and help fix this defensive line and also come in and fix the defense altogether. If you remember, the Saints really struggled, kind of like the Falcons. They had a drought where they missed the playoffs like 3 years in a row, kind of how our Falcons have missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons when the Saints went 7-9 3 years in a row. Drew Brees was passing for over 5,000 yards in those seasons, but they couldn't get over the hump. And that's kind of been what our Falcons have been experiencing over the last 3 years after making the Super Bowl in 2016 and then going back to the playoffs in 2017. We've missed the playoffs in 2018, 2019, and now 2020. So I do believe that Terry Fontenot is the right man for the job. Like I said, he did deal with turbulence there in New Orleans when they went through that time period where they couldn't, get to the playoffs, and they were really struggling on the defensive side of the ball. They had a ton of offensive talent, similar to our Atlanta Falcons, but their defense was really poor, just like our Atlanta Falcons has been over the last couple seasons. But they were able to turn things around. The GM there in New Orleans, Terry Fontenot being one of the coaches that was actually scouting players, or one of the GM or front office personnel that was actually scouting players. He was able to help that Saints team build that defense around Drew Brees and rebuild that offensive line. So I hope he can come here to Atlanta and do the same thing. As we know, we really struggle not only with rushing the passer and struggle on the defensive side of being physical, but we also have struggled with our offensive line play. And everything that I'm mentioning, the Saints was able to turn that around there in New Orleans. The Saints was able to rebuild their offensive line. They was able to also restructure their defense. And now they have a top 10 defense, and they've had a top 10 defense over the last couple seasons. So I do believe that Terry Fontenot, like I said, is the right man for the job. I do believe that he'll be able to get the Falcons back on the right track. We're going to see what he does this year in the draft, because I don't believe he has a ton of experience with drafting players, because he wasn't the person making those personnel moves there in New Orleans. That was their actual GM, but he was one of the guys that was scouting players, and he also was one of the guys there in New Orleans that was helping to retain their talent when players were up, their contracts were up. He was one of the guys that helped those guys help the Saints retain some of the players that they had that were free agents. So hopefully he can do the same thing here with our Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully he can come in and help restructure the salary cap and retain some of the talent that we currently have, like the Keanu Neals of the world, Foye Oluokun, and those guys that we want to bring back. Hopefully Terry Fontenot can convince these guys to stay with the Atlanta Falcons. And hopefully we can build that winning culture, because it seems like over the last couple seasons, the Saints have learned that winning culture, or built that winning culture there. And we've really struggled to win games over the last couple seasons. So hopefully hopefully Terry Fontenot can bring some of that Saints magic over to our Atlanta Falcons. The Saints, as you know, have won the NFC South. I believe this was the third or fourth straight year that they won our division. So hopefully next year and in years to come, we can continue to build our team up, reshape this team, and hopefully we can take over the division, kind of how the Saints have now taken over this division over the last couple seasons. As you know, every team in the league, your first and number one goal before making the playoffs is winning your division. That's usually the first thing that's circled in training camp. That's talked about by all the head coaches and the coaching staffs. Is if you win your division, usually that's the start for great things to come. So hopefully Terry Fontenot can definitely get our Falcons back to the promised land. I do believe, like I say, he's the right man for the job. I do believe he's going to bring some toughness to this team. He's going to be able to rebuild the trenches, kind of how they were able to do that there in New Orleans. But you guys let me know what you think about Terry Fontenot and this hire. I definitely, like I said, think it was a great hire. Terry Fontenot is only 40 years old, so he's still young, and he has a ton of experience for his age. Like I said, he's been in the front office for over 16 years, scouting players over there in New Orleans. So hopefully he can come in and he can have that same, have those same bright ideas to help this Atlanta Falcons team rebuild, restructure and rebuild that winning culture. But with that being said, you guys are going to want to stay peeled, keep your eyes peeled to the channel, and keep your eyes peeled on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, AtlantaFalcons.com, because we should now that we have the GM, we know who our GM is going to be. I'm pretty sure the head coach will be being named in the next couple, maybe in the next week or two. Once the playoffs is over for the Saints, I do expect the whoever the head coach is going to be named pretty soon. Now, Arthur Smith, the former OC for the Tennessee Titans, he actually had a second interview with the Atlanta Falcons, so he's still one of the hot names out there. Joe Brady is another guy that was connected to Terry Fontenot. They worked together in New Orleans, so that he has a ton of respect, and he has that relationship already built with the Joe Brady. He's actually the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, so he's another young guy that's a hot name that's still out there. Eric Bieniemy, I haven't heard a lot from Eric Bieniemy. I don't know if he got a second interview or not, but I hope that he's still in the running. But for the only two names I'm really hearing a lot about from the last couple days is Arthur Smith, the OC for the Tennessee Titans, and Joe Brady, the OC for the Panthers. So we're going to see which way this thing goes. I hope they catch everybody off guard, or catches everybody off surprise and bring in Eric Bieniemy. He is my number one candidate. If you ask me of who I want to be the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, but if it's not Eric Bieniemy, Arthur Smith, or Joe Brady, I think both of those guys could have some type of success with our Atlanta Falcons and all the talent we have. I do believe that Eric Bieniemy would be able to get the most out of the talent that we have on the offense. But I do also believe that Joe Brady can do some great things. And I also believe that Arthur Smith can do some great things with this offense, because both of those guys are great young offensive coaches. So we're going to see which way this thing goes. Like I said, you guys just keep your eyes, keep your eyes on, on social media. Stay locked in on my channel, because I'm definitely going to have some things coming for you guys. But I really appreciate you guys continuing to tune in. Definitely hit that subscribe button for your boy if you haven't already subscribed. But I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I'll have a lot more content coming for you guys in the next couple days. Hopefully that head coach will be named pretty soon, because we have to get prepared for the NFL draft. That'll be the next thing that I'll start breaking down on my channel. Once we find out who the head coach will be, then I'll start breaking down some of these players that are in the draft. I also will continue to have some Cleveland Cavalier NBA content coming for you guys as well. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think about Terry Fontenot. Do you think he's the right man for the job? I definitely think he's going to be a great GM for us, even though it's his first time being, a GM. I do believe that he's going to have a ton of success. I've heard nothing but good things about him, so I'm expecting great things to come. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.